So when the party's over and you can't sleep and you're tired of the company you keep, try me.
That is our guest, Jason, in concert there. I saw in the notes on you that your favorite movie might be Field of Dreams. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's one of my favorites anyway. Yeah,
what does that tell us about you? Is that you relate to the rural setting, or do you relate to the baseball?
The rural setting, really, because I mean, whenever I watch it, I a lot of times think of where I grew up and stuff, and it's pretty much like that.
Yeah.
You know.
You like the baseball aspect of it also?
Oh, sure. You know, all American males like baseball.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I love baseball, but I'll be honest with you, I didn't really understand that movie entirely. I liked it, but I didn't quite understand it. I'm still thinking about it. Let's take some calls here. Livingston, Tennessee. Darren, you're on the air with Jason.
Yes, Jason. Is the album Before still standing, and the Thunder and Fire LP still available?
Thunder and Fire is available. Still Standing, they're probably going to re-release.
Here's Richmond, Virginia. Linda, hello, you're on the air with us.
Yes, Dan Miller, we enjoy your show very much.
Thank you, Linda.
And I'd like to ask Jason. Jason, where are some of the groups getting some of this hard metal music from, and if you think it's getting hard, if it's going to continue?
I think just the opposite's happening. I think that a lot of the younger kids now are listening to more roots American-type music like country and blues and stuff like that, and I hope that trend continues.
Let's try, let me see if I can pronounce this the correct way. Shukaluk, Mississippi. I hope that's right, Doug. Are you there?
Yeah, you got it right.
Okay, good.
That's right. We're just a little small country place in Mississippi. I really enjoy your show, and I've got kind of a two-part question for Jason. The first part is, what were his musical influences? And the second part is, since he's from Illinois, with Jason and the Scorchers and his kind of music, what does he think of the label of Southern rock?
That's interesting. You're from Illinois, but you probably are labeled sometimes as Southern rock.
Right. Well, I've been here for a long, long time, so a lot of that kind of soaks in anyway. I mean, I think Southern rock's a big enough term to take on guys like me, you know, without it being a paradox.
Yeah, yeah. Here in town, Nashville, Tennessee. Hello, John. You're on the air with us.
Hi.
Hey, John. How you doing, buddy?
Good. Jason, I have a question about your record.
Okay.
You used a studio drummer?
Yeah, well, sort of, yeah. We use like younger, sort of, more the newer guys in the studio, yeah.
Uh-huh. Well, how come you don't use the same drummer live?
Basically, the drummer that was in the studio just doesn't really go out live much.
There are differences there. Some musicians would prefer to stay home and do studio work, and others,
right,
I guess, enjoy the traveling, right?
I mean, the band we got now with us we'll probably take into the studio, you know, if it works out that way. Mm-hmm. But just this time, it just didn't work out that way.
Wes, help me with this, Mary Lou. Weslaco, Texas?
Weslaco.
Weslaco.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Mary Lou. Speak up, and what's your question?
Hi, Mr. Miller. Hi, Jason.
Hi.
My question is, you had success with your band, the Scorchers, and I wanted to know, since now you're doing a different type of music, if you expect a different kind of success along with it.
I think what she's getting at there is, yeah, are you going in different directions with where you'll be on the charts, that type stuff?
Yeah, I think that it'll be much more country-oriented in terms of where we get radio airplay and where we sell records to. But I think some of the Scorcher fans are going to like what I'm doing now, too.
Yeah, you toured with the Scorchers with Bob Dylan back in 1989, wasn't it?
Right, that was our last tour. We opened for Bob Dylan, right.
Right before you disbanded?
Yes.
Now, what was he like?
Oh, he was, you know, I'd heard a lot of horror stories about him, like being real aloof and never really seeing him, and if he did see me, it's, you know, hard to deal with. But I found the opposite to be true. He was a real gentleman, spent a lot of time with him, and in fact, he kind of recommended that I go in more of a, he kind of saw the band breaking up, and he said, you know, you ought to just, you know, make more Nashville-oriented music. So, you know, that kind of stuck in my mind as I started making this record. Yeah.
You say he saw the band breaking up. Did he could detect this, or did he actually know for a fact you guys were going to end it?
Well, I think a guy like that has been in it for so long. Yeah, you can pick up on vibes like that, and you can kind of tell.
So his advice to you was to more country?
Yes, yes. More, you know, just a more sort of natural American sort of rootsy type stuff.
Let's go to Damaris in Tillsburg, Canada.
Cool.
Good afternoon, Dan.
I'd like to know, how did you determine that particular styling of hat?
How did you determine your particular style of hat? I think she's talking to you.
Oh, okay. Well, this is a Loretta Lynn hat, and it's just something I've always worn. I just like the way it looks and like the way it feels, and it stays on my head when we're playing live. So that helps. It just fits right, you know.
Do you have a convertible?
A convertible
car?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
I was just going to ask if it stays on your head during your riding convertible, because I'm looking for a good hat that'll stay on your head.
I don't think they make one like that unless you put super glue on it or something.
That's important to remember as I go out. Tell me about your family.
Well, I'm married and I have one little daughter. She's 2 years old. Her name is Kelsey, and just light of my life, wonderful little girl.
But now the twos are supposed to be the terrible twos.
I tell you, I've found it just to be opposite. I think it's just a wonderful time. I'm enjoying every minute of it.
Well, good for you.
I mean, today she finally put the fact that Daddy is singing, on the stereo and on TV. It finally dawned on her, and it was really an amazing thing. Because I'd played the record before rehearsal to kind of reacquaint myself with the music, and all of a sudden she goes, "Day! That's Day!"
So it's all coming together and making sense.
It was really neat, yeah.
Where'd you meet your wife?
I met her on the road. We were in Los Angeles playing a gig, and she came out, and we just kind of hit it off, and the rest is love history,
Yeah. What'd she think when the time came for the other band, for the Scorchers, to disband? How did she feel about you going out on your own?